Thank you for taking away my freedom of speech today in here.
I did not take away your freedom of speech.
Yes, you did.
I don't want to hear it from you people down here.
Just because this is an uncomfortable topic.
Officers, please remove this man from the room.
You can't have three doppelgangers. You can't.
As you just saw, this man here was escorted out of a Brevard County Commission's meeting, and he was so because he was presenting evidence that the astronauts of the Space Shuttle Challenger explosion back in 1986 are actually still alive. It was a pretty traumatic day, and those who witnessed it never forgot it.
1 minute, 15 seconds.
And here's the astronauts who unfortunately lost their lives that day, or so they want you to think. Now, it might shock you to find out that all of the astronauts who supposedly died that unfortunate day have all been found to still be alive and using the exact same names, or claiming to be the siblings of those individuals.
Challenger astronaut Judith Resnick, and also a Judith Resnick Yale law professor. Michael J. Smith, the pilot of the Challenger astronaut, and also professor at University of Wisconsin, now retired Michael J. Smith. Commander Dick Scobie, who is now president of Cows and Trees.
So the two astronauts he didn't mention are both pictured here, first being Ronald McNair, who is shown next to a photo, a current modern-day photo of who is supposed to be his twin brother, Carl McNair. And the same for this gentleman here, Ellison Onizuka, who is shown next to a current photo of supposedly his twin brother, Claude. Now, apparently no birth records could be found for either of these supposed twin gentlemen. But if that's not enough for you, then check this out. This is the memorial service for the Challenger crew, and this is the family of Ellison Onizuka. And I don't see a twin there, do you? And here's the family of Ronald McNair at that same memorial service. And again, I don't see a twin. Would they have missed the memorial service?
Are you Michael Smith?
Yeah.
Are you aware of that there's a rumor on the internet
It's not me.
that people are saying,
Yeah, it's not me, obviously. I mean, anybody that looks at my background, looks where I was born, it's not me.
So the gentleman who took this video apparently tracked down Michael Smith to ask him what his thoughts were in regards to the fact that he not only looks like the Challenger astronaut, but has the exact same name.
I mean, it's interesting that the Michael J. Smith that was the astronaut looks something like me when we were younger, but really not.
yeah, you just sure look alike, it's the same
I
name?
know the facial thing, but that's what we looked like, what, 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, thank you.
yeah.
I mean, come on, what are the odds that the three on the top have an identical doppelganger living to this day that has their exact same name? And that these two on the bottom apparently have an identical twin that doesn't have any birth records. And this is apparently live footage of immediately after the Challenger exploded. They went to zoom in on the parents of one of the astronauts and look at their faces. It doesn't really communicate a grief. I mean, you could say in shock, but he's smiling. I mean, what is your interpretation of how their reactions are here?
And we're supposed to believe that three people from one space flight have exact lookalikes that have the same age and same exact names. Mr.
Sir, I'm going to
Scobie
have
not
to.
only
I'm
has.
going to have to stop.
Sir, this is a public comment.
I know what it is, sir. I'm very familiar with the public comment.
Will you let me finish for at least
No,
10
sir,
seconds?
you're finished. Thank you.
You just violated the First Amendment.
I didn't violate the First Amendment.
he
He
didn't.
violated the
This
rules.
is a limit.
Officer, take him out also.
Everyone just calm down. They can leave willingly.
Wow.
No, we're leaving willingly. I mean, you don't have to remove us.
You just made a decision about NASA. You're making your decisions based. Well, you violated the First Amendment.
What press?
From a radio station in San Bernardino. I know there's a
This is-
conspiracy about
I'm sorry.
the space shuttle. No, I want to be polite.
There she is. This person approached Judy Resnick and attempted to politely engage with her regarding the Challenger shuttlecraft mission.
Hey, Judy. How you doing? I'm from the press. I just had a quick question, if you don't mind.
What press?
From a radio station in San Bernardino. I know there's a
This is-
conspiracy about
I'm sorry.
the space shuttle. No, I want to be polite.
There she is.
Friendly. Just a question.
And there she goes.
So there's a lot of rumors about you being on that space shuttle. Obviously, if you want to comment, we would really appreciate it.
So unlike Michael J. Smith, who ended up basically having a full-fledged conversation with the individual, she just effed right off. Which, depending on your stance, could be evidence for or against. But it tends to lean on the side of eyebrow rising. So here they all are.
Pilot Mike Smith, followed by Krista McAuliffe, teacher in space, Ellison Onizuka, and payload specialist Greg Jarvis.
So one question that's been brought up a lot is that if they did show them entering the space shuttle, how did they get out? Where did they go? Because as you know, when it goes up, there's a lot of destruction. They would have to go somewhere, be tucked away somewhere pretty safe. And here's the answer to that question.
Once the crew are on board, if it looks as if they're in danger, they get out and head down this tube, specially insulated against fire, and zigzagging down not to some point out and away from the rocket, but to an escape room exactly where you'd think it shouldn't be. 3.5 minutes after they get the warning in the capsule, the crew could be down here in the blast escape room via that 200-foot escape tube, 40 feet below the base of the rocket.
I think we all remember the Challenger explosion that took place in 1986 that tragically took the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. And someone allegedly found almost all of those astronauts alive and well. Now, if you'll notice, they all have the exact same faces 30 some odd years later, the same exact name, and they are the same age.
Now let's focus on Dick Scobie for a second, whose full name at the time of the Challenger mission is actually Francis Richard Scobie. If you don't know, Dick is short for Richard, but we'll get to that. Francis Richard Scobie would be around 75 years old if he were alive today. Now this man, Richard or Dick Scobie, is alive today, and also is currently the age that Francis Scobie would be. Now if you were to show someone these two photos side by side, they would unquestionably believe that it is the same person, right? I mean, just look at the brow, look at the eyes, look at the nose, look at the little gap in the teeth even. Now, Dick Scobie today currently runs an advertising company called Cows and Trees, and this is their logo. Kind of an interesting choice, wouldn't you agree? As of course, many people are making this comparison.
My God.
1 minute 15
There's been an explosion.
Velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Now, entertaining the possibility that this is some kind of conspiracy, I'm sure back then they didn't really think that the internet would be around today where people could do this kind of research. So of course they're trying to silence this, as when you try and Google it, you don't get many results. And if you speak out, you get silenced.
I'm gonna have to stop.
Sir, this is a public comment. I have a direct request that, will you let me finish for at least 10 seconds?
No, sir, you're finished.
Thank you for taking away my freedom of speech today in here.
I did not take away your freedom of speech. There's a.
Yes, you did.
I don't want to hear it from you people down here.
Just because this is an uncomfortable
topic. Officers, please remove this man from the room.
Why would NASA fake the Challenger shuttle explosion? Well, there are plenty of reasons, but we'll get to that. So the theory is that the Challenger shuttle crew who unfortunately lost their lives in the explosion in 1986 have all been found alive and well today.
Are you Michael Smith?
Yeah.
Are you aware of that there's a rumor on the internet
It's not me.
that people are saying...
Yeah, it's not me, obviously.
What press? From a radio station in San Bernardino. I know there's a conspiracy about the space shuttle.
So while these two have apparently been found, Judy Resnick and Michael Smith, both working as professors, Richard Scobie, formerly Francis Richard Scobie, runs a marketing agency that has a very peculiar logo, somewhat eerily similar to the Challenger explosion smoke trails. Now these two astronauts, Ronald McNair and Ellison Onizuka, both apparently had twins. Okay, the odds of that seem fairly high, but whatever. But apparently neither of the two now living twins have any birth records. Now here's the memorial service for the Challenger crew, and this is the family of Ellison Onizuka, but his twin brother Claude Onizuka is nowhere to be found. And here is the family of Ronald McNair, but also missing is his twin brother Carl. So getting back to the matter at hand, why would NASA fake this?
The Challenger, when it exploded, was empty. They did it as a trauma-based thing, a psyops, to get trauma to all Americans.
These two engineers, Alan McDonald and Robert Boyce Jolly, warned against the Challenger launch. They worked for the company that supplied the rocket boosters for the space shuttle. They both raised serious concerns about the safety of launching the space shuttle during such cold temperatures that were happening at the time. But their warnings were ultimately ignored. The theory suggests that NASA chose to stage a dramatic tragedy in order to divert the public's attention away from anything political that, say, could have been going on at the time, justify new policies, maybe considering NASA was dealing with some budget cuts at the time. A high-profile tragedy could serve as a manipulation tool. Another interesting theory is that the shuttle crew was actually assigned to a completely different top-secret mission, and that the shuttle explosion was just a cover-up to remove them from the public eye. Another theory is that, by faking a highly emotional, unifying moment, NASA could reinforce support for space shuttle funding and shift the attention away from the potential flaws of the space shuttle program. Let me know what you think.